So here let's look at Trevor's swing compared to Michael Young's. And I chose Michael's in part because he's a good major league hitter who also drops his hands and brings them back up and makes it work for him. And just looking at both swings in slow motion, quick motion initially. First Young takes his hands back and gets them loaded, and that's a more classic. Then even when he drops them, he'll bring them back up, and they're in position to drive through the ball. So if you're going to drop your hand, you still want to get them back into a loaded position. You still want to go up and down in line with your hip, which is more what Trevor's doing. Again, just focusing in on Trevor's swing now. His hands just kind of go from here, down, straight back up. Going sort of step by step. Perfectly workable stance in both cases. We've already talked about the negative. Here's Trevor going into his negative move, really just sort of dropping the hands, whereas that negative move, that loading, look what Michael Young does. His weight shifts back onto his back foot. He actually does a step back, which might be a good technique for Trevor. Touch, and now he's going to start coming forward. So there's one loaded, then the other, and of the two, you can see where Young has his bat back ready to swing. Trevor's has, again, just gone up and down in the same plane, which is something Mick noticed the other day. They both take a solid stride, good weight shift, and both now actually have the bat in a pretty good position to swing the ball. That's fine. Both have the bat still cocked at heel plant. Most major league hitters would have the bat at a slightly steeper angle like this, as opposed to completely flat, but flat somewhat workable. Both are attacking the ball, and another thing I really like is you'll see Young's starting to stiffen the front side, allowing the hips to pivot around a essentially straight front leg. And Trevor also does that. It's not quite straight, but it's a lower pitch, and that's fine. That's a firm front side, and hit both hips. Both Young and Trevor are exploding their hips into the ball. That's a good part of this swing. Both are letting the hips lead the hands into the swing, and the hands are leading the bat head. That bat's going to whip into the ball in both cases. At contact, Michael Young's head is down and looking right down the bat to contact. Trevor's head may be pulled a little off. I'd like to. Your head going down when you swing was one of the rules of hitting I grew up by with Charlie Lau, and I do believe in it. So that's something to look at. And then one of the biggest changes here, but again, it's adult strength versus 11-year-olds. Michael Young is much more able to explode and extend through the ball. But in this entire swing, really, the biggest differences are between the stance to the load and where the hands move. You can bring your hands down like Michael Young does, but you have to also bring them back and put them in a position to swing.